In a stunning development, during the high-profile trial of Sean "Diddy" Combs, a federal judge has issued an arrest warrant for Jennifer Lopez following explosive testimony from Ben Affleck. Once Hollywood's golden couple, Affleck's testimony revealed shocking details linking Lopez to the dark underbelly of Diddy's criminal empire. The revelations included a hidden tunnel beneath a Bel Air mansion and disturbing evidence suggesting Lopez's involvement, either as a victim or an accomplice. The courtroom was left reeling as the judge took swift action, marking a dramatic escalation in the case. This unprecedented move sends shockwaves through the entertainment world, raising urgent questions about fame, loyalty, and justice at the heart of one of the most sensational trials in recent history. Ben Affleck's unexpected role, more than a celebrity. When the name Ben Affleck is mentioned, most people think of the Oscar-winning actor and director, the quintessential Hollywood star known for his charm, talent, and long-standing career in film. Yet, in the midst of one of the most shocking trials in entertainment history, Affleck's role has morphed into something far more complex and consequential. He is no longer simply a beloved actor or a Hollywood figurehead. He has transformed into a whistleblower, a man who stepped out from behind the glamorous veil of stardom to confront the darkest corners of an empire built on secrecy and fear. Whispers among court insiders hinted at the astonishing evidence Affleck brought forward, an eclectic trove of proof that went far beyond simple accusations. He presented a hidden notebook, a document rumored to contain a catalog of secrets so sensitive and explosive that it sent tremors through the courtroom walls. This was no ordinary notebook. It was described as a meticulously detailed record chronicling illicit dealings, names, dates, and locations tied directly to Sean "Diddy" Combs and his alleged criminal activities. More chilling still was the revelation of a buried video recording, footage no one had ever laid eyes on before, locked away in the shadows until Affleck's testimony brought it into the light. This recording, authorities said, would shed new and horrifying insight into what truly transpired behind the closed doors of the entertainment mogul's inner circle. The gravity of Affleck's testimony. When Ben Affleck finally took the witness stand, the man who sat before the court was stripped of his Hollywood allure. Gone was the charismatic figure accustomed to the limelight. In his place was a man burdened by the crushing weight of the truth he was compelled to reveal. His voice was steady and measured, lacking any dramatic flair, but every word carried the undeniable gravity of hard evidence. This was not a plea for sympathy or a performance for public consumption. It was a delivery of facts so concrete that they could not be ignored. As Affleck methodically laid out his testimony, the atmosphere inside the courtroom shifted palpably. Sean "Diddy" Combs, usually a figure of unshakable confidence and power, reacted with raw fury, slamming his fist on the table in a fit of rage. Meanwhile, Jennifer Lopez, who had long been a symbol of glamour and resilience, sat motionless, her head bowed, rendered speechless by the weight of the accusations and revelations unfurling around her. Behind the glamour, secrets beneath the surface. What makes this trial so much more than a simple criminal case is the stark contrast between its dazzling surface and the sinister truths it threatens to reveal. For decades, the entertainment industry has been cloaked in the glittering veneer of red carpets, multi-million-dollar contracts, and extravagant parties attended by the world's most famous faces. This world is one of spectacle and illusion, a carefully constructed stage where every gesture is choreographed and every smile rehearsed. Yet, beneath this alluring facade lies a shadowy underworld where power is wielded like a weapon and silence is enforced through intimidation and violence. This trial exposes the extent to which a criminal network has been interwoven with the fabric of show business, hiding behind contracts and celebrity glamour to protect itself. At its core, this is a story of a fierce battle between light and shadow, between those who believe their influence can buy immunity and those brave enough to shine a spotlight on the darkness. Ben Affleck's testimony punctures the illusion of Hollywood's glitz and glamour, revealing a raw and unfiltered truth that threatens to forever alter public perception of the industry. A haunting scene outside the courthouse. Outside the imposing stone facade of the Manhattan Federal Courthouse, the scene was chaotic and charged with emotion. Swarms of reporters jostled for position, shouting questions and flashing cameras in an unending blitz. The relentless glare of the media reflected the insatiable public hunger for answers. Yet, amidst the frenzy, Ben Affleck emerged, a figure marked by exhaustion and sorrow. His eyes, bloodshot and haunted, told a story of countless sleepless nights and emotional turmoil far beyond the headlines. He declined to engage with the crowd, walking with a purposeful silence that only deepened the mystery and speculation surrounding his role in the case. Inside those courthouse walls, tension was almost suffocating. Sean "Diddy" Combs, once a seemingly untouchable mogul, faced the potential of a death sentence. His empire, built on fame and fortune, was unraveling before the eyes of the world. Meanwhile, Jennifer Lopez found herself thrust into the eye of a storm that threatened not just her career, but her very legacy. The charges against Sean "Diddy" Combs, a dark underbelly. The legal charges stacked against Sean "Diddy" Combs were as grave as they come, and shook the foundation of his public persona. Among the allegations were human trafficking, a horrifying accusation that suggested a systematic exploitation of vulnerable individuals. The case detailed orchestrated assaults, extortion schemes that extorted silence from victims, and money laundering through an intricate web of corporate entities designed to mask the true source and destination of illicit funds. For years, Diddy was celebrated as a music titan and influential businessman. His name was synonymous with success, wealth, and cultural impact. But the trial peeled back this polished exterior to reveal something far darker. A criminal empire operating in the shadows, one that silenced its victims and corrupted the very justice system meant to hold it accountable. This case has not only captivated the public because of its high-profile personalities, but because it exposes the mechanisms through which power and corruption coalesce behind the glittering lights of the entertainment industry. The shocking moment: Ben Affleck's testimony. In a courtroom packed with tension and heavy with anticipation, no one could have predicted that the person who would shatter the carefully constructed facade was Ben Affleck, the Hollywood heartthrob, the Oscar-winning actor, and, most shockingly, the former fiancé of Jennifer Lopez. The courtroom held its collective breath as Affleck took the stand, his expression a mix of steely resolve and deep personal pain. This moment wasn't just another celebrity trial spectacle. Affleck's testimony was a seismic shockwave that reverberated through the walls of the courthouse and across the world's media. With a calm but unwavering voice, he revealed intimate knowledge of the secret machinations within Sean "Diddy" Combs' empire, knowledge that no one had expected him to possess or share. More startling still was the role Jennifer Lopez, the pop icon and actress adored by millions, seemed to play within this dark saga. As he spoke, his eyes, usually so familiar and warm on the silver screen, betrayed a haunted anguish. A man wrestling with the dual burdens of betrayal and duty. This was not a casual accusation born of Hollywood drama. It was a profound personal reckoning. Affleck's words peeled back the layers of glitz and glamour to expose the shadows lurking beneath. The backstory: rekindling a once golden romance. To fully understand the gravity of Affleck's testimony, one must rewind to 2021, when Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez reignited what had once been one of Hollywood's most celebrated romances. Their relationship, affectionately dubbed Bennifer by the media during their first high-profile engagement in the early 2000s, had captivated fans worldwide. When news broke of their reunion after nearly 2 decades apart, the world collectively sighed in relief. A fairy tale had seemingly come true once again. At that time, Affleck believed he understood Jennifer on a level few did. He thought he knew the subtle language of her glances, the comfort found in their shared moments, and the silent communications woven into years of intimacy. He saw himself as the guardian of her secrets and the keeper of her truths. Yet, beneath the surface of their rekindled love, a growing darkness loomed. The romance that seemed destined for a happily ever after was becoming overshadowed by silence and suspicion. What Ben didn't know was that his return to Jennifer's life would draw him deep into a shadowy underworld, far removed from the Hollywood spotlight. Cracks appear. Jennifer's changing behavior. The initial glow of their reunion soon began to dim. Where once Jennifer Lopez had been open and vibrant, she gradually retreated into herself. The dazzling red carpet appearances and public smiles began to feel like performances rehearsed for an unseen audience. Affleck started noticing patterns that unsettled him. Nights grew darker and more secretive. Jennifer would disappear into the late hours, slipping out with quiet footsteps while Ben tried to sleep. His suspicion grew sharper as he observed her phone, which would buzz and flash at strange times, the screen lighting up just long enough to reveal a sender before she quickly silenced it, as if trying to keep something hidden from him. When Ben mustered the courage to confront her about her past connections with Sean Diddy Combs, Jennifer's response was chilling. Her eyes hardened, her smiles no longer reaching their depths. It was as though a cold barrier had been erected between them, an invisible wall that neither could breach. Her reassurances sounded hollow, but her trembling voice betrayed the secrets she was desperate to keep. The anonymous email and the chilling call. The breaking point came one restless night when Jennifer was asleep beside him. Affleck's phone pinged with a message that instantly sent chills through his body. An anonymous email with a brief but ominous warning. She never left. Dirty. Check her phone. His heart pounded in his chest, dread tightening like a vice. With shaking hands, he reached for Jennifer's phone, hesitating for only a moment before unlocking it. There, waiting in the message inbox, was a cryptic text from an unknown number. 2 a.m. usual spot. Don't let Affleck know. The meaning was clear, and rage surged through Ben like wildfire. He dialed the number, and the response was immediate and bone-chilling. The voice that answered was smooth, controlled, but dripping with menace. It was Diddy himself. "What are you digging into, Ben?" the voice said, calm but deadly. "Watch yourself, or you'll bring trouble on your own head." The call ended with a click as sharp as a gunshot, a warning etched deeply into Ben's memory. From that moment, the lines between love and danger blurred irrevocably. Growing suspicion, nighttime footsteps, and hidden clicks. Ben's life became a nightmarish maze of doubt and fear. He found himself haunted not only by the threatening phone call, but by the subtle, inexplicable noises that filled their home in the darkest hours. He began to notice Jennifer's footsteps, stopping suddenly in the living room during the dead of night, as if she were pausing to listen or check something unseen. More unsettling was the faint click, barely audible beneath the floorboards, a sound that hinted at a hidden mechanism, a secret door, or a concealed passage. When Ben dared to confront Jennifer about these strange occurrences, she laughed off his concerns, deflecting with lightness and changing the subject. But the unease gnawed relentlessly at his mind. The veneer of their relationship was cracking, revealing fractures that threatened to shatter everything. Despite the growing suspicion, Ben clung desperately to hope. Hope that Jennifer was not the person he was beginning to fear. Hope that the woman he loved wasn't entwined in the darkness surrounding Diddy's empire. It was a hope that fueled his determination to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. The car crash. A predator in the night. The night air hung thick with fog as Ben Affleck drove along the desolate outskirts of Los Angeles. The glow of street lamps barely penetrated the mist, casting ghostly halos around the sparse trees lining the highway. His mind churned with the weight of suspicions and fears he had tried so hard to suppress. Every mile felt like a journey deeper into a shadowy unknown, and he couldn't shake the gnawing sensation that he was being watched. Then, through the swirling haze, a pair of headlights appeared behind him, low and relentless. A black SUV, large and ominous, crept closer, its lights cutting through the fog like predatory eyes locked on their prey. Ben's pulse quickened. He glanced at his rear-view mirror, watching the vehicle's approach, his instincts screaming that this was no ordinary driver. Suddenly, without warning, the SUV surged forward and slammed into the rear of Ben's car with brutal force. The deafening screech of twisting metal and shattering glass ripped through the night. His vehicle spun violently, tires skidding uncontrollably across the slick asphalt. Smoke billowed, swirling like phantom figures, as the car crashed into the roadside embankment with a bone-jarring impact. Dazed, Ben's head throbbed sharply as blood trickled down from a gash above his eyebrow. His hands gripped the steering wheel with white-knuckled desperation. Time seemed to slow as he fought to steady his breathing, every heartbeat a pounding echo in the eerie silence that followed. Following Jennifer. The secret meetings. Driven by a combination of desperation and deep suspicion, Ben began to follow Jennifer's movements, desperate for answers. Night after night, she would slip out of their shared home without a word, the clicking of the front door barely audible as she disappeared into the darkness. One particular moonlit night, Ben decided to tail her. The city's edge lay shrouded in shadows, the glow of distant streetlights barely illuminating the abandoned industrial park she headed toward. The cold air smelled faintly of rust and decay. Ben's heart hammered in his chest as he watched Jennifer approach an old, dilapidated warehouse. The building stood like a forgotten relic, its windows shattered, walls graffiti-tagged, the air around it thick with silence and secrets. Jennifer moved with purpose, her silhouette slipping through the shadows as she entered. Inside, Ben stayed hidden behind a stack of rusted crates, straining to hear. Soon, a tall, imposing man joined Jennifer. His voice, low and icy, cut through the stillness with unmistakable authority. Sean Diddy. A close call, sensed and fleeing. Ben's breath hitched as he crouched behind a stack of dusty wooden crates in the dim, cavernous warehouse. The stale air reeked of rust and neglect, thick with shadows that seemed to swallow all sound. His heart pounded so loudly in his ears that he feared it would betray him, announcing his presence to the one man he hoped to avoid. Sean Diddy Combs. Diddy's gaze was razor-sharp, sweeping the darkness with the precision of a predator on the hunt. His eyes glinted with cold intelligence, scanning every corner as if he sensed an invisible threat lurking nearby. The air crackled with tension, every second stretching endlessly in the stillness. For a terrifying moment, it felt as if Diddy's piercing stare locked directly onto Ben, a silent challenge charged with danger. Adrenaline surged through Ben's veins. Panic flickered, but beneath it burned a fierce resolve. He knew that staying would mean capture, or worse. Slowly and carefully, like a shadow himself, he retreated, every step calculated, every breath held. The cold night air outside was a stark contrast to the suffocating dread inside the warehouse. Yet, as he fled into the darkness, his determination only grew stronger. This was no longer about suspicion or fear. It was about truth. He had to uncover what lay hidden beneath the glittering surface, no matter the cost. The discovery: a hidden tunnel beneath their home. Back at their shared Bel Air mansion, Ben's unease deepened. The opulent walls that once promised sanctuary now felt suffocating, concealing secrets too dark to imagine. Driven by a restless obsession, he began searching their home with the meticulous care of a man unearthing a grave. Days bled into sleepless nights as Ben tore apart rooms, examined every creak and whisper of the old house. He moved like a ghost, his presence almost spectral as he scoured the house for answers, his hands trembling with the weight of what he might find. It was in the living room, beneath the expensive Persian rug worn thin by time, that his fingers found something unusual: a loose floorboard, cleverly concealed and out of place. Heart hammering, he pried it open. A gust of cold, stale air rushed up from the darkness below, carrying with it the heavy scent of damp decay and forgotten things, the unmistakable breath of buried secrets. Shining his flashlight into the yawning hole, Ben saw concrete steps descending steeply into an abyss. The cold air was thick, almost suffocating, filled with the musty odor of mildew and rust. This was no ordinary basement. It felt like the entrance to a tomb, a hidden world beneath the glamour and gold. The fight for truth, Ben Affleck's transformation from hopeful lover to reluctant witness, is a harrowing odyssey through betrayal, fear, and moral reckoning. What began as a rekindled romance steeped in Hollywood fantasy twisted into a desperate fight to expose a cruel and corrupt world hiding beneath the surface of fame and fortune. His testimony isn't just a personal vendetta or a dramatic confession. It is the courageous illumination of a shadowy empire where power corrupts absolutely and silence is bought with fear and violence. It is a revelation that challenges everything we think we know about the entertainment industry's glittering facade. As the trial unfolds, the stakes have never been higher. This is more than a courtroom drama. It is a battle for justice against a system designed to protect the powerful at the expense of the vulnerable. Ben's unwavering resolve to bring truth to light will echo far beyond the walls of the Manhattan Federal Courthouse, forever altering how we see Hollywood, its icons, and the dark secrets that lurk behind the spotlight. In the end, Ben Affleck's journey is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to fight back, even when surrounded by shadows.